Magical beings are ubiquitous in the land of Disney. We have seen fairies, magical genies, sorcerers, and of course my favorite, fairy godmothers. But what makes a fairy godmother a fairy godmother? I mean, Ursula helps poor unfortunate souls with her dark magic. Does that make her a fairy godmother? The genie grants individuals wishes to help their dreams come true. Does he get to be a fairy godfather? There have to be some sets of rules and trends to help us classify what characters are these magical beings, and today that's exactly what I plan to find out. Hello, I'm Isaac from Monster Videos, where we discuss fun topics for fun people, and today I'm going to fully explain fairy godmothers. Fairy godmothers span decades of Disney film work, but their origin goes back much farther than Disney. Prior to the 18th century, most fairy tales were written without the inclusion of these angelic helpers. It wasn't until the early 1700s when Madame Delnoy manifested the term fairy tale and began to establish the genre as a writer did fairy godmothers come to life. Charles Perrault also built this new genre by recording his version of folk tales, and you may be familiar with Perrault, by the way, since he most famously created works like Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Puss in Boots, and Little Red Riding Hood. Although these authors popularized the trope, fairy godmothers are actually based off the Greek mythological beings known as the Moirai, or the Fates. Yet these women right here in Hercules led to magical fairies granting wishes and stories. The Fates controlled the mother thread of life of every mortal from birth to death, and their decisions were unable to be challenged by humans or even the gods. Only those three women could change a person's destiny, and fairy godmothers do this as well as a donor character. A donor character is a concept theorized by the Soviet folklorist and scholar Vladimir Prop, and refers to a character who tests the hero and provides magical assistance to the individual when he succeeds. Fairy godmothers change a person's destiny and act as a donor because they discover the character of an individual and grant their wish in an attempt to make their dreams come true. Sleeping Beauty's Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather, Cinderella's fairy godmother, and Pinocchio's Blue Fairy are the classic fairies people recognize and think of when they hear of fairy godmothers, and they further reveal the traits a fairy godmother possesses in Disney films. They all obviously perform magic, and their goal is to help good-hearted individuals make their dreams come true. But their third characteristic is something difficult to initially see. Why can Cinderella only go to the ball till midnight? Why does Pinocchio have to prove he is a good boy before becoming a human? Why are Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather restricted to one gift to Aurora? Fairy godmothers all have restrictions to their magical abilities, whether it be from a time constraint or a way to break all of their spells. Their magic can only put people in position for success, but an individual still needs to have faith and do their part to make their dreams come true. Are there any other individuals who meet these requirements as well? Of course! The Enchantress from Beauty and the Beast learns the Beast has darkness in his heart and curses him to attempt to teach him a lesson, but the curse can be broken if he finds someone to love him for who he is. There's also the Genie, who I think is close to the requirements, but falls short. The Genie's master chooses what magic he utilizes instead of granting his magical powers to those in need, so I think genies are their own entity. So far though, I have only been considering arguably good fairies. There are magic wielders with limited magical abilities who do not seek the benefit of others. The dark fairy Maleficent comes to Aurora's ceremony like the other fairy godmothers, but gifts Aurora a curse to end her life to take revenge on the kingdom. The limitation of this curse was that it had the ability to be manipulated to make it a temporary sleep. The Sea Witch Ursula casts mer people into polyps within her lair, but she can only use her magic on individuals if they agree to a deal. And finally, the Evil Queen conjures potions and curses objects, and approaches Snow White as if she was a fairy godmother, telling Snow the apple is a magic wishing apple. Although Snow consumes the fruit, the curse could be lifted with true love's kiss. Although these evil fairy godmothers, as I like to refer to them, did not intend to make dreams come true, in a way, didn't they? Without Maleficent, would Philip have been able to prove his love for Aurora? Without Ursula, would Eric have shown the good nature of humans to King Triton, thereby gaining his blessing? Without the Evil Queen, would Prince Charming have been able to prove to Snow he was her true love? Darkness has its place in the world because it brings out the light in others. In a way, the evil fairy godmothers, just like the good ones, really do make people's dreams come true. Fairy godmothers are everywhere in the Disney universe, but they are not all the same. The original fairy godmothers in the 18th century had ambiguous allegiances to good and evil. They were not heroes or villains, they were just people putting characters through morally gray trials. But Disney has manipulated these donor characters to be more evident to one allegiance. Some fairy godmothers became light, kind-hearted people, and others are seen as devious and filled with darkness. The fairy godmother is a complicated role, but all of them give our heroes, princesses, and puppets the magic or experience to find their happy ending. This video was sponsored by my patrons over at Patreon. Patreon is a voluntary pledge service where you can support creators like me while also earning exclusive rewards. If you are interested in donating to help grow the channel, check out the page at patreon.com/WatsoVideos. If you'd like to continue to theorize on fairy godmothers, then I'll leave the links to the movies, resources, and the playlist of all of my fairy godmother episodes in the description of this video. So now it's time for your thoughts. Do you agree with my list of fairy godmothers and evil fairy godmothers? Do you think evil fairy godmothers still make wishes come true? And who would you want as your fairy godmother? Let me know in the comment section along with any other ideas you have for future Discovering Disney episodes. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like it, then remember to subscribe to WatsoVideos and click the bell if you'd like to be notified when I post. Thanks for watching and have a magical day.